All right, good evening, everybody. We'd like to welcome you to Texas League Baseball here in the Permian Basin. I am Jonathan Baker, your co-host, and also in the booth with me, my friend and partner, Bob. Good evening there, Bob. Hey, good evening, Jonathan, and happy Tuesday evening, everybody. Welcome from Midland. That is right. Well, we are here getting ready for our final week of baseball as we get ready to wrap up this first half South Division. And so far, we are looking forward to 4 of those days being off. It is the first game of our 6-game set between the visiting San Antonio Missions and your Midland Rockhounds. Well, it's Taco Villa Night Tuesday here at the ballpark, and gotta say, just absolutely love Taco Villa. Best place there ever is here in the Permian Basin. Don't forget, on Taco Night Tuesday, Rosa's Cafe and Tortilla Factory is also $7.99 Taco Plate Tuesdays. That is 3 crispy ground beef tacos, rice, beans, tortillas, and yes, a endless salsa jalapeno counter that you can have for your taco needs. And also pretty good. Man, just make me hungry just talk about food here in Midland. And gotta say, a pretty good one. Well, anyway, tonight we do have some news. Rosman Verdugo, the hot corner third baseman for San Antonio, has been called up to AAA El Paso. And so far, we just got word that he has been pretty much last week there in San Antonio. He has not been on the roster, and they told us that he has been called up to AAA. And so far, a pretty good time that he has had for San Antonio for this 2026 season. It was a good call-up track for him, and gotta say, it was a pretty good one here and there. Well, anyway, the third base area will be taken over by none other than Nate Mondu, as he's a former Midland Rockhound, and so far he is in the lineup here for the Missions, and so far a pretty good one. Well, anyway, San Antonio, boy, that Sunday game, it was a pretty devastating loss, and we'll get your final score on that as we get into this one here tonight. Our first pitch is 6:45 tonight, and yes, it is a hot West Texas evening, and gotta say, it's always like that. Boy, I tell you, just a evening where we could come out, have a good time, and enjoy baseball just how we like it. Well, with this final week that we are going to be seeing, boy, San Antonio and Midland, this is a crucial series as we get ready to wrap up this first half. And so far, 4 days off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then we're back at it on Friday, July 17th, there in San Antonio as we take on Corpus Christi for the last 3 games of this second half. And then after that, it will be the Frisco Rough Riders going to San Antonio for 6. And then it's off to Amarillo. Then we take on Springfield, Frisco, Northwest Arkansas, Springfield, and Midland and Amarillo right after that. And then we conclude the 2026 regular season. I got to say, Bob, it has been one of the most longest seasons we have ever had. But I tell you one thing, be glad when all is said and done as we get ready to do the end of this one. But anyway, back at it tonight as we get you the final scores of Sunday's game. Amarillo won the series finale with a final score of 4-3. It was a close finish there in San Antonio. The game was tightly contested throughout. Amarillo built an early lead despite a late game rally by San Antonio in the bottom of the 8th inning. Amarillo held on to secure the victory. Pitching performances, Cole Drake earned the win for Amarillo, with Derek Law picking up the save. Jagger Haynes got credited with the loss for San Antonio, and so far, pretty good in that one. Well, the Sod Poodles tonight at Water Ridge Field taking on the Arkansas Travelers. And so far, going to be a pretty good one in this one. Well, San Antonio here in Midland tonight. Frisco, Corpus Christi. Springfield at Tulsa. Northwest Arkansas at Wichita. Arkansas at Amarillo. Well, anyway, we're just about set to go for the top half of the first inning. And if you are here with us, great. If you are not, we'll give you just a few more moments before we get going to our live broadcast. Well, our fans there in San Antonio watching from Nelson Wolf Stadium, and got to say, a pitch-perfect place there in good old San Antonio as we all know it. We all love it, too. But anyway, got to say, a pretty great end to that series there at home, and so far this will be a ending 6-game set for this week, and by golly, it'll be a nice, relaxing 4 days off right after that. We cannot wait, and we're just so happy. Well, anyway, we're about set to go as we'll lead it off here in the top of the first inning for San Antonio. And so far, yes, the few clouds from time to time, but mostly sunny as we go through the evening. And got to say, pretty good. Well, Missions are in the dugouts now, and also Rockhounds as well. Well, we got Domingo Robles, a left-hander, getting set on for the Rockhounds. And he's got a 4-seam curveball, changeup, and a 2-seam fastball. Getting ready to go here for Midland, as he'll lead it off here in the top of the first inning. The shortstop, Clay Dungan, getting set to go for San Antonio. I was going to say Midland, but yeah, last week trying to confuse Amarillo and San Antonio prospects together. I'd be like, ha, very funny. No balls and 1 strike underway here tonight at 6:42. Just a few minutes before first pitch time. And that one is going to be out of play, foul, and it's 0-2. Well, San Antonio, 6 more games here for the season in Midland. And gotta say, after that, after we conclude this first half on Sunday, it will be it. San Antonio does not come back to Midland at all for the rest of this 2026 year. Anyway, the Missions starting lineups look like this. Duncan, Roberts, Gonzalez, Sanabria, Carpathios, Fabian, Mondu, Murphy, and Castellon will round it out for the Missions here this evening. Center fielder Kai Roberts coming in as he'll take a ball outside. It's 1-0. Well, crowds are still piling in as the tickets got scanned and people getting their seats, but first they go to the concession stands and they grab something. That is right there, the countdown, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Here's the pitch, and there he goes, down and out, and there's 2 down. Second strikeout for Domingo Robles. Boy, pretty good for his pitches. He's got 2 back-to-back strikeouts to lead off this Tuesday evening here in Midland. Ethan Salas, the catcher, coming in for San Antonio. Boy, I tell you one thing, Rosemond Verdugo is a pretty good prospect, and I got to say, we will definitely miss him being a part of the San Antonio Missions, and hopefully he'll have some pretty good luck there in El Paso as well. 1 ball, 1 strike, and that one is in, and that's count now 1-2. So far, we didn't get the word until right now that he got called up and nowhere in the lineup, so that tells you he's long gone to El Paso. And so far, our thoughts and prayers are with him as he travels to his AAA destination out there to the west in El Paso. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count now, and here's the pitch, swing and a miss. They got him, and that is that. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio. And it's on now to the bottom of the first. Rockhounds coming to bat right after the messages. They're about set to go as we'll lead it off when we come back here in this one. Well, just about set to go for the bottom of the first inning for Midland. Right now, the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Miguel Mendez, a right-handed starter, will be on the hill for San Antonio. And gotta say, the scouting report says 101 on the four-seamer. So you better look out as he sees how fast this fastball could go. He could throw a triple digit that could kick a bird right off your shoulder if you had one on you. Leo Dallas DeVries, the first batter up for Midland, coming in. Takes that one in for a strike. It's 0-1 the count here in this one as we're underway. The bottom of the first. No balls, 1 strike, and here's the pitch inside. That's in for a strike. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 offering, and that one's going to be sharply hit right to short. Throw down to Sanabria, and in time for the out, there's one down. Rockhounds starting lineups to look like this. DeVries, Halter, and Nankiel. Malone, Swift, Mann, Leary, Dickey, and Severin will round it out for the Rockhounds. Second baseman Colby Halter coming in. Rockhounds last week was in Frisco, taking on the Rough Riders. And that one is in for a strike, and the count now at 0-1. One prospect in particular got injured, and that was outfielder Ryan Lasco. And I tell you, that was just a rough impact by that outfielder to a right fielder. And they carted him off, and they took him off to Plano to see if he's all right. And so far as we look, we'll tell you what had happened. He had a fractured C6 and C7 vertebrae. And that's out number 2 as Halter is down. And the first strikeout for Miguel Mendez. He had a C6 and C7 vertebrae fracture after colliding with a teammate there in Frisco. The A's say Lasco underwent spinal decompression and stabilization surgery at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Plano, and he's in stable condition. So any word from Ryan Lasco will definitely keep up to date with the A's. And hopefully everything is all good. Right there, sharply hit ground ball to short, up to first. To Sanabria will make the play, and that's the inning. No runs, hits, and errors, and nobody left on base for Midland. And just a beautiful behind-the-plate shot as fans enjoy the game here tonight. Top of the second inning, Romeo Sanabria leading it off for San Antonio when we come back. Well, we're about set to go for the top half of the second inning for San Antonio. Right now, the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Thank you there, Bob. Romeo Sanabria coming in now, 4-5 at 6, due up against Domingo Robles. As the first pitch will miss outside, it's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes account now to the San Antonio first baseman. Missed that one outside as 1-1. Hope everybody is doing good on this Tuesday evening, and hello there from the YouTube live chat. Hope everybody is doing good tonight. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wind up and the pitch. That one right there, straight away, up to the short as that's bouncy ball, and that out at first, and there's 1 down.
Right fielder, number 22.
Could have almost been a base hit right there, Johnny. Yeah, almost. Right fielder Braden Carpathios coming in now. Just an absolute beautiful evening here in Midland. My 6-game road trip to the Rockhounds territory. But most evidently, we do take on the Rockhounds just 12 more times. This is game 1 of 12. San Antonio taking on Midland, then Corpus Christi for 3, Frisco for 6 to start off the second half. Amarillo will be next in line after that. Then it'll be Springfield, Frisco, Northwest Arkansas, Springfield, Midland, and Amarillo after that. Right there, and that's going to get through. Line drive, a base hit. All the way as it rolls to the warning track. And Braden Carpathios will stretch it to a 1-out double. And that is double meat cheeseburger coupons there for San Antonio fans. There at Nelson Wolf, and that's a pretty good way to start off this 6 games in Midland. A pretty good way to get going. We'll give you some scores. Corpus Christi leading the Rough Riders. It's 2-0. Albert Fabian, the designated hitter, coming in. Trying to get the teammate off from second all the way to home. Here is the 0-1 delivery, and that's going to be right there. Line drive. That is through for a base hit. Here he comes to the plate, and big mistake there as he is hanged out to dry. And San Antonio gets cut down, exempt from their first run. Boy, and that right there was the pickoff play that, well, should I say, that would be the cherry on top of the icing. Yeah, I tell you, I get your logic there, Johnny. Boy, I tell you one thing, they just tried to get it. And I thought they had it, like, right out to the outfield. But anyway, I guess we all stand corrected on that. Nate Mondew coming up now, runner at first after the attempted run to get in to score for the Missions. Evidently, that got snuffed out pretty badly, let me tell you. No balls, 2 strikes to count to the third baseman. Swing and a miss, they got him. That ends the half inning. So it's no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left for San Antonio. And we head now to the bottom half of 2. It is no score through 2.5. Brendan Malone will get on as we'll get set to go for the bottom half of inning number 2. Well, we're just about set to go for the bottom half of the second inning right now for the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Brendan Malone coming in there. Thank you, Bobby. 4, 5, and 6 due up against Miguel Mendez as that one is taken well on the inside. And a swing and a miss as he goes after it. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike the count. And here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. High fly in the air. Up to left field is Kai Murphy. And he'll make the play for the out, so there's 1 down.
Batting fifth, designated hitter.
Well, the designated hitter, Drew Swift, getting ready to go for Midland. The pitch, and that one is yanked out of play. Foul. It's 0-1. Don't forget our other proud sponsor here tonight for Rockhounds baseball. It's Texas Burger. Just got to absolutely love that place. I mean, if you want a good double meat cheeseburger to foot-long hot dog coney or a sandwich of your choice, well, head to Texas Burger. And we are through the whole entire Permian Basin here in Midland.
Batting sixth, third baseman, number 11.
Man, we always go after for Taco Villa, don't we, Bob? Yeah, we always do, you know, and we go to our hotel, we have the 6-night stay. So far, pretty good. Boy, that one is crushed high in the air, and they can't get to it, and that's going to land right up to right field through for that base hit. And Luke Mann getting a 2-out double.
Center fielder, number 3.
And boy, he really smashed that ball hard as, boy, that could have almost been out of here nearly. Just to the base of the wall, but now here is Cameron Leary as he comes in.
Hey.
We'll take that one in for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, temperature today, 97 degrees here in the Permian Basin. Well, that's going to be right there, and that's going to get through for a base hit. The run is in to score, and the Rockhounds will pick up a run on a double. So the RBI double comes in, and boy, just look at that. Ain't it pretty? That was a fair ball. And, yep, right there, that is fair. That baseball was fair. It had it written all over it. Jared Dickey coming in. He'll hit that one out of play foul. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike to the pitch. And that one is in for a strike. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that one, whoa, look at that, 100 mile per hour. Boy, Corpus Christi leading 2-0 against the Riders. That one high up to the left field area. Murphy will settle it under, and that will do it. Cameron Leary getting that RBI double. So 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave 1 on base. So we hit for the third. Midland leads it by 1-0. Well, just about set to go for the top half of the third for San Antonio. Right now, the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Thank you there, Bobby. And this one presented by Taco Villa. It's a Taco Villa left fielder, Kai Murphy, as he comes in. One takes that one outside, 1 ball and no strikes. That one outside, 2-0 the count now. Rockhounds in front, 1-0. Early going of the third inning here in Midland. Here's a 2-0 offering, and that's a broken bat on impact right there to third. Throw down to first in time. They got him. One down as Murphy is retired. Boy, that bat shattered with shrapnel flying out of it. Second baseman Marcos Castañon coming in. Anyway, scratch the hot corner third baseman for the former San Antonio Missions. Rosamond Verdugo getting called up to AAA El Paso. And so far, we were going to have a little ceremony for him, but I guess we should have had that a couple weeks ago, even though we didn't know he was getting called up to AAA at the time, but now we know. Well, out number 2 is Castañon is going down on strikes. And they're 2 down. Well, Springfield leading Tulsa 1-0. So that right there, leading it off to that first of that 6-game series there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hopefully San Antonio could get 12 games. A Tulsa Drillers order of 6 there in the Missions Nelson Wolf Stadium. Which that would be pretty good, Bob. You know, I mean, to tell you one thing, Arkansas and Tulsa both have not been to San Antonio in a long time. Yeah, I gotta say, Johnny, you're not wrong about that, but anyway, hopefully 2027 will reveal if they come or not. Yeah, that is for sure. Well, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left on. We head now to the bottom of the third, and Brian Severin will lead it off as we get ready to go here for the Rockhounds. Well, we are on our way to the bottom of the third right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Yep, there we go. Brian Severin is coming in now as we'll lead it off, bottom of the third. Thank you there, Bobby. And we welcome you into the next half inning as that's 0-1 the count now. Miguel Mendez throwing that first pitch in for a cold strike, and that is a swing and a miss, getting him outfouled. And it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes, the pitch. And that one's going to be hard hit, but also rough out and foul. And it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. That one right there, and that is going to get fair deep down the line. And to play it safely, he'll stay at first on the no-out single. And a pretty good way of getting things going here tonight for the Rockhounds. Pretty good word there, Johnny. Here is Leo Dallas DeVries as he comes in. 0 for 1, a ground out. Former San Antonio Missions. Just like the prospect that we do have at third base, that's Nate Mondu. Here's the 0-2. And that one is out of play, still hanging foul. 0-2 delivery. And right there, throw down the second. The first, they get them both. It's a Taco Villa double play. Boy, 1-6-3, and back to the mound. Miguel Mendez throws to Castañon de Sanabria, and that is 2 quick outs to begin this half inning. Boy, that erases the hit right there. Here is second baseman Colby Halter. Arkansas leading Amarillo 2-0. Sod Poodles are getting pretty lucky facing off the Arkansas Travelers late to this end of the first half. Gotta say, pretty good. Well, no runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left on. 4th inning coming up. It's Midland Rockhounds 1, San Antonio 0. Well, just about set to go for the fourth inning for the Missions right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Well, center fielder Kai Roberts just try up first as we begin this half inning. Snowballs and one strike the count as he comes in. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one is going to be well crushed. That one's deep. That one is, foul. Man, that could have been out of here to tie up the ball game, and boy, that one is a strikeout as we look at it, and there's one down to begin this fourth inning. Ethan Salas coming in now. You know, Bob, I got to say, I'm pretty happy that after Sunday, we are off for 4 straight days. We can rest. We can do whatever we want. Might be boring, but all well. We'll have a nice road trip back to San Antonio and stuff. Yeah, I got to say, after 4 games here in Midland, it will be a nice time to go around the Permian Basin. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch, swing and a miss, and that's a count now 1-2. Well, Corpus Christi still leading Frisco 2-1, and they're in the bottom half of the second inning. Springfield leading 1-0 against Tulsa. Wichita leading Northwest Arkansas 1-0. Arkansas 2-0 lead over the Sod Poodles. Here's Romeo Sanabria. Now, Arkansas and Tulsa, we'd love to see them in San Antonio, and hopefully for those 2 teams, they would get 12 games apiece. I mean, that would be great. Besides, we saw a couple of weeks ago when San Antonio went to Arkansas. That one's high fly in the air deep, and it is gone. And the Missions tie it up here in the top of the 4th. It's 1-1. And what a really good home run that is there, Johnny. Yeah, it sure is. A pretty good one. And it came in to tie us up. Well, field completely in shadows. Outfield is in the straight sun. That right there, pretty good. Braden Carpathios, the next batter up, comes in and going to hit that one down, and that's going to get through for a line drive, a base hit.
Now batting, the designated hitter.
Well, the designated hitter coming up now, that is Albert Fabian. Fabian coming in, 1-1 tie, top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. That's a swing and a miss. The changeup getting him out fooled for strike 1. 1-for-1 single here in this one. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch, and that one's going to be hit up to left field, and that'll get down, and that ends the inning. 1 run by Romeo Sanabria. The solo shot ties up the game. And we go now to the bottom half of the 4th inning. We're deadlocked 1-1. So we'll be right back as Nate Nankiel will lead it off. And we'll be right back here in the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Well, we now head to the bottom of the fourth right now. The Rockhounds Baseball Network. Nate Nankill coming in as we'll lead it off in the bottom of the Rockhounds fourth. And that's going to get right down a base hit to right field, and they'll fall down in front of Braden Carpathios. And that is a no-out single for Nankill. Pretty good hit right there, Johnny. Yep. Four-hole hitter Brandon Malone coming in. As he'll take a strike inside. It's 0-1. No balls, one strike. Well, we don't have any score yet from other Texas leaguers out there. That we're tied ball game here in Midland between San Antonio. No balls, two strikes. The pitch swing and a miss, and Malone is down on strikes. And boy, to tell you one thing, he got him just really good right off the plate. Well, the next batter, Drew Swift. Swift coming in, ready and inside for a strike. It's 0-1. Partly cloudy, slight chance of a thunderstorm later on, but evidently continuing to keep eyes on the radar as we go through the evening. That one's high in the air. Sanabria will get it right back to the pitcher as that's out for number 2. But anyway, hope everybody had a great 4th of July, and so far we did there in San Antonio on through that last homestand for Amarillo. Luke Mann coming in now, and that's going to get through for the line drive. That's a base hit. Straightaway center. Boy, we had our American flags. I mean, if you watched last week there in San Antonio, it was a pretty good homestand taking on Amarillo. Cameron Leary, 1-for-1 RBI double in the second for the Rockhounds. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that is in for the strike. It's 1-1. Northwest Arkansas and Wichita tied 1-1, just like we are. And they're in the top half of the second inning for the Naturals. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. And that one is yanked out of play, foul. It's 1-2. I tell you one thing, that San Antonio taking on 3 North divisions. Northwest Arkansas for won 6 games yet. And then Springfield for 12. Well, that will pretty much do it, as that will be the side retired. So, no runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left. 5th inning coming up, deadlocked at 1-1. Well, Nate Mondew, the third baseman, coming up next for San Antonio when we come back in the broadcast. Well, this proud broadcast is brought to you in part by Taco Villa and Roses. Make sure you check us out after the game for Taco Night Tuesday here at the ballpark. So far, get your coupons now for Taco Villa and Roses. Leading off the fifth is Nate Mondu as he comes in. And that's going to be well hit high in the air, straight away up to left field, and that's out number one. Kind of a rough out number one, right, Bob? Yes, for sure there, Johnny. Domingo Robles, a four-seamer, at the usage of 55% of all his pitches has been in for strikes. What a great time he has for the Rockhounds. That one is yanked out of play, foul. It's 0-1. Well, the field completely covered in shadows as we get into the half-inning point. The changeup will get him outside. It's 0-2. Here's the pitch. That's a high pop-up. Second baseman in right field runs it down, is the second baseman, and that's two down.
Now batting, second baseman.
But I tell you, short circuit day was yesterday. Evidently, that was a pretty good day to watch Short Circuit 2. A pretty good one. Yeah, that movie was a really great movie. Marcos Castañon coming in is 0-1. And you can actually tell I do sound like Johnny Five a lot. Oh, you can sound like him. Well, let me hear you. Well, that one right there is up-tailed. It's 1-1. Need input. Need input. You need a little bit more on there. Hey, bozos! Hey, that sounds pretty good better. Right there, down, and throws them out at first in time, and that is out number 3. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio. And we go to half of the 5th inning. It's 1-1. Leading off the bottom of the 5th inning is Jared Dickey, the left fielder, as we get ready to go for this half inning. And that's going to be right there. Liner straightaway to left field in front of Kai Murphy. And that is a no-out single. Boy, pretty good right there, Johnny. But I tell you one thing. This team is trying to score in. And so far, that's what Midland tries to do after this single getting on base. That is for sure. Arkansas still continuing that lead there in Amarillo. It's Arkansas 2, Amarillo 1 in the top half of the 2nd inning. That is right there in the count now. 0-1 to Brian Servin. Servin coming in, ready to go. Here's the pitch to him, and that is going to be in for a strike. It's 0-2. Well, Corpus Christi still leads Frisco 2-1. It is the bottom of the 3rd there at Bayfront Park. And that's right there and out number 1. I want to tell you one thing, that San Antonio, when they had their 6 in Corpus Christi, 6 in Arkansas that one time, they visited 2 ballparks, one in the south and north. Here is Leo Dallas DeVries as he comes in. 0-1 the count. And the pitch. And that one's in for a strike. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 5th. Tie-breaking run getting ready to come in, and that's going to be right there. Not a play. That goes foul. Boy, that could have been an easy play ball right there. That one high in the air, straightaway center. Kai Roberts in pursuit of it. Makes a play, and that's out number 2.
Now batting.
Well, Wichita now breaks the tie. Now it's Wichita 2, Northwest Arkansas 1. Well, Colby Halter coming in is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout to the second baseman. And that's going to be right there. And right to the right fielder as he had to make a right-handed catch. Or a left-handed catch, and that would be the side retired. No runs a hit, no errors. 1 left for Midland. And we head to the 6th inning. It is 1-1 tie. Halfway point tonight here in Midland as we're tied at 1-1. Boy, tell you one thing, a pretty good night here in the Rockhounds territory. After tonight, it will be 5 games left of this first half, so hope you're not going to cry afterwards, but we most definitely will be back for the second half of the season there in San Antonio.
Leading things off.
Well, we'll give you the line look as here we go to the top of the 6th inning. And deadlocked at 1-1 here in Midland as we'll lead it off with the next batter up, the leadoff batter, Clay Dungan, the shortstop. Coming in as he'll take a strike inside. It's 0-1. Bronco Park, a big proud sponsor of the Rockhounds. That one high fly in the air, not a play. That goes foul. It's 0-2. See, you got that big bank building and other banks around the area. So far, this place really has a representation of the Midland area. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch. That's a swing and a miss. And down it goes. There's 1 away. You know, Midland, Odessa has really changed a lot in the years. I mean, ever since being back here in 2019 when Midland took on Northwest Arkansas and Springfield. Those were a pretty good time during that year. Naturals came to Midland for 4, Springfield for 4. And it was here in this very ballpark. Yeah, I remember you were telling me that story when your aunt and uncle used to live in Monahans. I remember that too. And then they sold their trailer home. They didn't like living in a West Texas desert.
Nope, that's off the plate. Ball 2.
Monahans from Midland was about 65 miles apart from each other. One night I went to Taco Villa, and I tell you one thing, I ordered 2 combination burritos from them. And boy, it was really good. Yeah, what else happened? Well, the lady at the drive-thru gave me the hot sauce,
Number 90.
and it was a lot of it. I showed my aunt, and I was like, hey, anybody want to have a hot sauce drinking contest? First one stomach who gets upset loses. And my uncle went to bed. He's like, nah, I don't do that. It would have been kind of funny if he would have stayed up that evening and did it with me, but he chickened out at the last moment. Just be like, nah. No balls and 1 strike, and here's the pitch, and that's a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Stevie Emanuels and Nick Hernandez warming up in the Rockhounds bullpen. But tell you one thing, Bob, I'll be back here one of these days to be in front of the home crowd and watch these boys compete like nothing else. But anyway, we head for the bottom of the 6th inning. Nankill, Malone, and Swift will lead it off. When we come back here in Midland, it's a 1-1 tie. Right fielder Nate Nankill coming in, 1-for-2 single as we lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. On this nice Tuesday evening, Taco Villa evening. 100 mile per hour as that one was pitched inside. And it's 0-1 the count now from Miguel Mendez. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one's going to be a ground ball straight to Castañon. Throw down to Sanabria in time, and that's out number 1. So where's your aunt and uncle now there, Johnny? Well, ever since, they broke communication with me because there was an incident, and most likely I haven't talked to them at all. Well, that's kind of sad. How come they broke communication with you? Well, it's something personal, and I can't share it because if I do share it, then my dad would call me and saying, "Why the hell are you putting that on YouTube and stuff?" I mean, excuse my language, but, I bet that's what he would say if, he comes across the broadcast and he would say, son, why are you saying this stuff and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get caught in a situation where I get yelled at. It's understandable. Drew Swift coming in now. It's a count now, 0-1. So for 2, a fly out and a pop out. Well, my dad questioned me that one night. He's saying, "Did you talk to sister?" Because grandma says she said something about whatever it was, but it's nobody's business. I don't have to share. Here's the 0-2. Right there, up to that first baseman, Sanabria. Boy, that's a quick out, number 2. Boy, right there, Sanabria just had a free play hand right there, and gotta say, a real good one. Luke Mann coming in as he'll take an inside strike. It's 0-1. 2-for-2, double, single, and a run to the hot corner man. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and that is in for a strike. It's 0-2. But anyway, they moved on, and so am I. I mean, time to have a happy life, right, Bob? Yeah, for sure. That one is hard hit, and now to play, that will go foul. And it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and boy, Wichita having a 4-1 advantage now against Northwest Arkansas. Well, Springfield leading it 2-0 now against Tulsa. That's a pretty good sizable lead. Here's a 1-2 offering, and that's going to be right there now to play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. And that one is going to be pelted. That one's deep, and that's going to be right next there, and it's going to drive in the run. And Luke Mann getting the RBI double, and it's now a Midland 2-1 lead against San Antonio. That was one heck of a defined hit for the 6-hole batter as he comes in. Here's Cameron Leary as he comes in. 1-for-2, a double, and RBI. Cameron Coley, the second baseman of the Rough Riders, got called up to AAA. And evidently getting a pretty good ordeal out of that is going to AAA. Round Rock, a pretty good idea. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count now, and that is in. Just like Rosamond Verdugo getting that call up to El Paso, which that was a pretty good for him, and wish him the best of luck. That's right there to center field, Kai Roberts, as that will do it. But Luke Mann getting that one, and the Rockhounds in front, 2-1.
Leading off, first
So we'll be right back as Romeo Sanabria will lead it off when we come back. 7th inning for San Antonio. Well, top half of the 7th inning here tonight here in Midland, and we're leading it off with Romeo Sanabria right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Thank you there, Bob. 4, 5, and 6 due up against Domingo Robles, and they're going to call that. And we're going to see where that one is, and they're going to overturn that one. Now it's no balls and 1 strike. Boy, and I tell you one thing, that is just rough around the edges that they would do that. Curveball would be a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 offering, swing and a miss, and that's down and out. And there is 1 down. Boy, 13 strikeouts for Domingo Robles. This guy doing really well on the mound for Midland. Braden Carpathios, next batter up. Hits that one high and outside. That'd go foul. Boy, another home run to tie it up again for the 2nd time. And, whoa, Bob, are you haunted or something? Because that one you just said, that is gone. And boy, 1 run lead evaporates quickly. And Midland, you can say forget about that 2-1 advantage because now it's a tie-up again. Boy, it's a foot race here tonight in this first game of 6. Boy, and they are celebrating getting into that dugout. 429 foot, 103 on the exit velocity. Which that right there was pretty good. Manager coming out, and I got to say, this guy right here did really good. 13 strikeouts. Worked 7 2/3 innings here tonight, and got to say, he might get the L or W. It just depends which direction this game goes. Right-hander Stevie Emanuel's coming in as he'll get ready to go. 4-seam slider cutter. Emanuel's now pitching for Midland. Albert Fabian coming in is 1 for 2, and he's going to hit that one high in the air. Both outfielders give a chase, and that is out number 2, caught by the shortstop.
now batting, third baseman.
Man, tell you one thing, that was pretty good right there as he got that one, and so far is a pretty good one. Here's Nate Mondu now. as he'll hit that one out of play foul. It's 0-1. So 0 for 2 strikeout and a lineout by Mondu. Gotta say, this guy knows Midland pretty good. He's been in a roster since 2018. That one is outside. It's count now 1-1. During the time that Midland had their old looking logos and uniforms and the original Rocky the Rockhound, which we miss him a lot, because 2022, that's when they decided, oh, we're going to plan a logo change. And well, that's what Midland did over the offseason. They came up with a new idea to have everything change.
Nope.
Well, isn't it that old saying, everything doesn't stay the same? Well, you're exactly right there, Bobby. I mean, you're right about one thing, when everything just doesn't stay the same, but they got rid of an icon like Rocky the Rockhound. The new Rocky that they put out there, that's not even a Rocky the Rockhound dog. I mean, you got to have finesse and character most times. But I tell you one thing, the original Rocky had, he went retired. And I don't think his time to retire was there. Kind of sad that they allowed him to retire way too early. Right there up to right field, and that's 2-1. Kai Murphy gets the single.
Number 94.
And, so far we think about, is he going to return and replace the Rocky that is there? Now it's high fly in the air, straightaway up to center field, and that will do. And the half inning comes to an end. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left, and we go now to the stretch inning. And it's San Antonio 2, Rockhounds 2, as we get ready to go. Jared Dickey to lead it off for Midland when we come back. Well, hope everybody enjoyed the 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark. And now let's get you back into the broadcast as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning right here in Midland. And leading it off is Jared Dickey. Thank you there, Bobby. And got to say, we will have a minute to take a pitching change. And so far, that is going to do for Miguel Mendez. San Antonio will call up Dyson Acosta to be a reliever here, as we'll lead off the bottom half of the 7th on the mound. Acosta now pitching for San Antonio here in this one. Jared Dickey up now for Midland as we'll get ready to go as he'll take an inside strike. It's 0-1. Well, the beloved mascot Rocky the Rockhound did not actually retire in 2022. It said the Rockhounds gave their primary mascot a complete and physical makeover alongside a major franchise rebranding. That means they rebranded the logos, the looks, the jerseys, everything. You know, they rebranded it all. No, that was back in 2022. So we've seen one season in Texas League Baseball here on the show back to their old look.
Yep, that ball went out.
And the slider was outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Brian Severin. 1 for 2 single. 2-2 ball game here in this broadcast. And now it's going to be hit high in the air to the shortstop. And that is out number 2. Well, in 2022, the team completely revamped their logo, sets updated Rocky's physical look to a fresh look, a reborn hound. The rebrand was permanent right after that. Leo Dallas DeVries coming in, takes a strike inside as a foul off, and it's 0-1. That one 0-2 the count now as he fouls that one off. To celebrate the rebrand, a new on-field mascot named Chip the Rockhammer was added to the team for the 2023 season. Well, after that, 7 innings come and go, and it's still a tie ball game at 2-2. Nick Hernandez coming in as he'll get ready to go. 5.06, 10-2 innings, and got to say he's got the same last name as our friend there in San Antonio, Benji Hernandez, who is the assistant manager of West Creek Trail Rides. That right there, a pretty good manager, if you ask me. He's a great manager, but let me tell you, do not get on his angry side. Let me tell you. Right there, out number 1, as we head to the top half of the 8th inning here tonight. Tell you, a lot of 8 innings, 3 up, 3 down innings come and go here in Midland as it's a tie ball game. A lot of zeros, but actually 4 runs into this broadcast, and that's going to be out of play in the count now, 0-1. You know, there was that video on that one day. I don't know what day it was, but we would have to look for it. And yeah, we could go up on YouTube, look for it now. And Ben Bowden, a lefty, coming in for the Rockhounds bullpen.
That's a ball.
And so far, a pretty good one. And that's inside for a strike. It's 2-2. Here's the windup and the pitch. Looking in is 2-2. Nick Hernandez. Swing and a miss. They got him down. And that is out number 2. The catcher, Ethan Salas, coming up now. That we go by and we look at some older videos, and even though the Rockhounds do have a pretty good one as you look at it, yeah, even though they got rid of the Matamosca's Medessa, which that was also a Copa thing for the Midland Rockhounds, and they made them to the Midland Amigos. Amigos will be here on Thursday night only, with San Antonio to their road grays, confined to road grays through Sunday in the series. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's right there. Ground ball straight away. And he overplayed it. There is no play to the shortstop. And now that is going to be a base hit. It could be a potential error to the shortstop. But evidently they literally just overshoot that one. But anyway, yeah, the Mascots Front Office Series, which that was really good.
Ball 2.
And that one is ball 2. This one was called Rocky's Mascot Training. This episode released March 28th, 2022, just before the start of opening day 2022. Rocky the Rockhound was training his new recruits in the Rockhounds office. And so far, how to become a mascot, exercise, and boy, the Rockhounds, they had a pretty good mascot way back then, and well, so far the look, the logos, everything was, revamped. I mean, I wish they didn't revamp the logo, but they did. But, out with the old, in with the new. There's the old saying right there. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Sanabria. And the pitch, and that one is ball 4. So now they will walk him up.
Number 22.
And now there's 2 on with 2 away. Sanabria getting on first. Well, Hernandez, boy, tell you one thing. That's going to do for him, as he had a quick start on the hill, and then they booed him right after the last couple of pitches that he had, but now he is gone. A.J. Causey coming in now as he'll get in. Sinker, sweeper, circle change, cutter. Causey now pitching for Midland. Boy, now tell you one thing, John, that was a short inning for Hernandez, who came in, and you got to say, they're kind of rough around the edges when you think about it. Yeah, that is for sure. Romeo Sanabria at first, Ethan Salas there at second base. Braden Carpathios at the plate now. Here in this one. No balls, 2 strikes to count now. Here in this one. Wind up and the pitch, and that one is going to be pulverized right there, deep down, and that's going to get through for the base hit. 1 run scores, 2 run score, 2 run double by Braden Carpathios, and that's going to put San Antonio on top. It's 4-2. Man, I bet the manager's going to be happy about that one there, Johnny, and I tell you one thing, always going to be a happy moment in this ball club. That is for sure, my friend. And gotta tell you that the mission's doing really well, but now the Rockhounds gonna try to revamp and come back here in this series. Been so far pretty good. Well, anyway, that video about the training of a new mascot,
That's out.
and evidently with the Rockhounds rebranding the look and logos, the old Rocky retired. They say he didn't physically and mentally retire. You know, he just went on vacation. Well, you evidently had him on a video at one time. Oh, yes. That one right there, and that gets through. San Antonio gets the RBI single. Albert Fabian getting in across a run to score. And now San Antonio leading at 5-2. Boy, Missions could try to pick up a win here. The first of the series opener here in Midland. And I got to say, this 6-game series is crucial. I mean, you look at it. It's our last 6 games of the first half. And so far, that's what it is. That's right there, line drive. That's a base hit. Straightaway center. And clean through onto that one. Nate Mondu getting that one. And now here comes the manager. And that's going to be it for this guy. So now, again, they are switching relievers out from left and right, and the manager just says, you know, this ain't cutting it. You're going to have to do better than that. And here is Cole Pelham as he'll come in as a left-hander. Or is that C.D. Pelham? Yeah, C.D. Pelham is the name, and his name is not Cole. I mean, what kind of name is that? What's up there, Cole? How you doing? Yeah, C.D. Pelham now pitching for Midland. Guy Murphy coming in 1 for 3, a single. And tell you one thing there, Bob. 6 and 7 runs up now for San Antonio. They're on bases right now. And that one is a swing and a miss. And boy, San Antonio came back and rallied here in this top half of the 8th inning, which that was a pretty good thing they did. And right there, swing and a miss, and that will do for the half inning is over. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on. And boy, San Antonio came back to rally here in this half inning. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, San Antonio leads it 5-2. Well, Colby Halter will be next up for Midland when we come back here in this one. Well, we're about set to go for the bottom half of the 8th inning right now on the Rockhounds Baseball Network. Colby Halter coming in, 2, 3, and 4 due up here in this half inning. Pitch is downstairs. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Here is the 1-0 delivery, and that's going to be hit high in the air. And that is up to Nate Mondu, who comes in and catch that one for the out. You know, and again, if I said a curse word on this video, I do apologize about that. First time and last time I will say one of those. High in the air straight away. And that is out number 2.
Now batting, first baseman, Brennan Malone.
Well, Brendan Malone coming in now. 1 for 3, a double and a run. And a pitch. And that one's inside for a strike. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch.
Ball, that's in.
And that one is outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, the count. Here's the pitch.
Ball,
And again, outside. It's 2-1. It kind of reminds me of that home improvement episode where Tim was training the kids to behave themselves. One of the kids is like, Mom, what? Dad's cussing. Yeah, he said a bad word.
that's inside.
Yeah, he said hell and damn. I did not say damn. Well, now you did. I remember that. Boy, and they teach their kids how to say bad words and
Now batting,
be like,
designated hitter,
dang,
number 6.
where do these kids come from? Now, Drew Swift coming in now as he'll lead it off. And a pitch.
Hey.
And that is right there in the end for a cold strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1.
That's a balk.
And that's going to be a block right there to second. And that is 0-1 the count now as the runner gets advanced over the second. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be ricocheted right off. And that is the count now, 0-2. 0-2, one more time. That is out of play. Oh, and 2. And that's going to be hit to Sanabria right there in time, and that ends the inning. So, no runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left for Midland. Top of the 9th coming up. San Antonio leads it 5-2.
Leading things
9th inning set to go. Second baseman Marcos Castañon getting set. We lead off the top half of the 9th inning here tonight in Midland, Texas. Here's the pitch. That one's a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. James Gonzalez and Braden Nett, a lefty and a righty coming in. Here's the 0-1, and that one's going to be lofted high in the air, straightaway left field. And that is out number 1.
now batting, shortstop, Clay Duncan.
Clay Duncan, the shortstop coming in, is 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a ground out. And yes, I promise I'll watch my language from now on while we're also here on live stream and stuff. You know, Bob, yes, you could probably put a knot on my head for talking ugly. Oh, your dad would put a knot on your head. Yeah, he'd be like, boy, you quit talking ugly. 1 ball, 1 strike to Clay Duncan.
Hey.
Kind of reminds me of that scene where Johnny Five was getting back with this one guy by the name of, well, whatever his name was, but he was the guy that claimed he owned a bank, run a bank,
3.
and right there, called third strike,
Now batting, center field,
and that is out number 2. But anyway, yeah, after that, Johnny Five was talking ugly, and Benjamin says, I will clean you up. I ought to wash your mouth out with soap. Boy, I tell you, just really funny, that movie. You're just sitting there dying laughing, just hearing that last night. I actually watched it last night because it was Short Circuit 2 anniversary. Well, 38 years. Yeah, 38-year anniversary, 1988. That was 38 years ago. Yeah, it was there, Bob. And right there, a swing and a miss, and that ends the half inning. Rockhounds have one more time to pull it off, and they'll have the 3 prospects to get going, as we're due to the bottom of the ninth coming up here in this one.
Leading off.
Bottom half of the ninth inning, third baseman Luke Mann coming in. And the pitch is right there, and that's going to be hit to Sanabria right there as he steps on the bag. And that is out number 1.
Center fielder.
What, 2 outs to go for Midland. Cameron Leary, the center fielder, coming in, 1 for 3 double and RBI. And the pitch. And that's inside for a strike. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch is fouled off. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 offering, and that's going to be right there. Line drive straight away center, and that is through for a hit.
Now batting. Left
You know,
fielder,
Jared Dickey
number
coming in now. But I remember my grandma one time telling my grandpa when he was cussing up a storm, she would say to him, you know, Grandpa, I ought to just make you eat a soap sandwich. How about that? Ugh. There's a bar of soap on 2 pieces of bread? Mm-hmm. Hey, if you ever cussed in her home, let me tell you something. She would tell you, all right, you go get a sandwich, and it better be a soap sandwich to clean your act. Ew, that is bad right there. Yeah, she would do that when you curse in her home. And that's going to be right there, line drive, and that is through for the base hit. Now the tying run coming up to score. That could have been a double play to get them out of this inning, and the ball game would have went to San Antonio, and really it would have. Now here is Ryan Severn as he comes in. And that's going to be right there to second for 1. And they get him, and that's the ball game. And San Antonio wins it 5-2, and they claim the first game on the road here in Midland. Again, we apologize if we said things that probably get on your nerve, but that's all right. It happens. Well, Dyson Acosta is the win. Nick Hernandez getting the loss for Midland. And so far, that is going to do for tonight's first game here in West Texas. Well, San Antonio will pick up their 40th of the season. And Midland will get their 42nd loss here in this one. So pretty good night for the ball club, and I'm going to say it was a pretty good one. Boy, Wichita leading 9-1 against Northwest Arkansas. It's tied ball game in Amarillo 2-2 against the Arkansas Travelers. They just now entered the 6th inning. Corpus Christi still leading 2-1, top of the 7th. With Springfield leading Tulsa 2-1. Boy, tell you one thing, a pretty good one here in this one. Well, anyway, gotta say, a pretty good ball game tonight. San Antonio came back with 3 in the 8th inning, and they won it by 5-2 here in this one. Well, for all of us here, 5 more games to go in this series, and so far we will wrap it up Sunday at 1:05 as we'll conclude our 6 games and our first half of the Texas League season. Well, anyway, enjoy us for 5 more nights as we'll get ready to go, and so far that will be it. For all of us here in West Texas, our final score, San Antonio 5, Midland 2. So we'll see y'all again tomorrow evening as we'll get ready to come on in and have another game tomorrow against the San Antonio Missions. So anyway, have a good night, and we'll see y'all again later.